Hi everybody. Sorry it's been a couple days. I Saturday was the last video that I posted. Um, I don't post on Sundays, and yesterday I was very busy. So anyway, I apologize about that. For this video, we're going to talk about magnums versus non-magnums, where how they came about, and some of the pros and cons to each one. So the only real difference that I would say between magnums and non-magnums is that magnums came much later and built off of non-magnums. Now, the three most common ones I would say are the 45, the 44, and the 38 special. The 40, the 45, the 45 Colt, and then later on the 45 ACP, which stands for Automatic Colt Pistol, came much later. The 45 Colt came out in 1873, and the 45 ACP came in 1911. And it's kind of funny that it is called the Automatic Colt Pistol, right, ACP, because it was actually not designed and invented by Samuel Colt. It was actually designed by John Browning. Now, how Colt got his name on it, I have no idea. Maybe he designed it for, maybe John Browning designed it for him, or maybe he bought out the patent. I have no idea. But anyway, it was designed by John Browning. Now, the 45 ACP is not a Magnum, but it is the 45 Colt was the predecessor to it. And they are chambered the same, although you can't shoot them interchangeably. You actually can shoot 45 ACP out of a 45 Colt, but you have to have an adapter for the revolver. You can't shoot it without without the adapter. But you cannot shoot a 45 Colt out of a 1911, right? Now in magnums versus non-magnums, so the 38 special came out in, I think, 1892 or 1893, and it is a much shorter non-magnum round compared to the 357 Magnum, which came out in, I believe, the 30s or 40s. Anyway, the 357 is the Magnum round. They are chambered the same. You can shoot a 38 special out of a 357 mag, but you cannot shoot a 357 mag out of a 38 special because the 357 round, is a lot longer than the 38 special round. The next one would be the 44. Okay, the 44 special. It came out in 1907, and I find it kind of ironic because that's the typical Old West, caliber of gun. It is the newest of the three, but it has gotten to be kind of hard to find compared to some of the others. 44 special is not near as common as it used to be, and then later on that evolved into the 44 mag, which again came out in like the 30s or 40s. And then the 22 long rifle, which was invented, I think, sometime in the 1800s, but I'm not sure on the exact year. It's a rimfire cartridge. And then they also have the 22 mag, which again came out in the 30s or 40s. But the difference is that the 22 mag is a centerfire versus the 22 long rifle, which is a rimfire. The 22 mag can be reloaded. The 22 long rifle, so far, to my knowledge, cannot. Anyway, so what was the purpose of developing these Magnum rounds? And what are some of the pros and cons to Magnum versus non-Magnum? Now, the purpose was to have more powerful weapons, to be able to shoot longer, and that's what Magnums do. They go further, they go faster than non-Magnum rounds. Whereas the non-Magnum rounds, they go a little slower, and they don't they fly less feet per second and don't hit as hard, to my knowledge. So the main difference is that I will say, and the reason that I'm doing this video is to talk about reloading. So the Magnum rounds, because they're a little bit hotter load and they shoot further and faster than non-Magnum rounds. Because of that, you cannot reload a Magnum round as many times as you can a non-Magnum round when in relation to the casing, right? So if you have, you save your brass or whatever and you want to reload, you can't reload Magnum rounds as many times as non-Magnum rounds. And the reason for that is because each time you reload, it microscopically stretches the case, and so the case will become slightly longer and worn and wear out over time, and so eventually you'll not be able to reload a round depending on how many times you use it. But they can go quite a few rounds for each one, but the non-Magnum rounds can be reloaded much more than the Magnum rounds for that reason. Anyway, that's the video for today. I'm not saying either one is any better or worse than the other. They both have their pros and cons, and they both are designed for a different purpose. And that's the thing to keep in mind, is that each gun, different caliber, is designed for a different purpose. Some are designed for personal defense and that kind of stuff. Some of them are designed for hunting larger animals, some of them for smaller animals. It just kind of depends. So you want to make sure you're using the right caliber for the right application. So anyway, I appreciate your time. I had promised that I would do a general hunters and gun safety video later on, and I still haven't done that. So we're going to try to do that either later today or tomorrow, because I did promise a friend of mine that I would do a safety video, and the last safety video I did was on shop and personal safety. So anyway, still need to do one on gun and hunter safety, which might be a little redundant for some of you, but some of you might get a few things out of it, especially if you're new to firearms. So anyway, that's going to be coming up here in the next day or two. So anyway, stay tuned, and I appreciate your time, and we will talk to you soon. Have a good day.